Blessed are they who have kept the word with a generous heart and yield a harvest through perseverance. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus entered a village where a woman whose name was Martha welcomed him. She has a sister named Mary, who sat beside the Lord at his feet listening to him speak. Martha, burdened with much serving, came to him and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister had left me by myself to do the serving? Tell her to help me." The Lord said to her in reply, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and worry about many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary had chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The story of Martha and Mary. It reminds me my experience in the jungle of northern Thailand. And part of you guys, some of you probably remember that when I was in the northern jungle of Thailand, there are roughly about 42 villages. 42 villages where we serve them. We come to visit them probably 2 villages a week. So you can imagine that from the first village that we visit and the time that we come back to the first one again, it probably takes roughly about 4 to 5 months before we can come back to the first village. So before we came to a village, we always make sure that we let the elder in the village know that we are coming, so that the elders, they will prepare anyone who want their house blessed. Any baptism need to be taken care of. Any first communion in the village need to be taken care of. Anyone who need anointing the sick need to be taken care of. So beside all that, when we get there, they making sure that we have a place to sleep, a place where we can stay for about 3 days or so. And in addition, they're also making sure that there are food around for us to eat. So remember, they live in a jungle, which just means that they have to go into the forest. They would harvest whatever in the jungle, wild mushroom, wild herbs, veggies, you named it, as part of the food diet that we would get. And we would stay with them for about 3 days. The average is 3 days, depend how big the village is. Their hospitality is not just serving us, providing us a place to sleep. It's not about what they provide us when we get there. It's more than that. They're making sure that we are welcome to the village. They're making sure that they're always present to us and taking care of us whatever we need, and even more so, they prepare us for our journey to the next village, which just means that they will wrap rice or fry eggs in banana leaf and pack it with us so that we can take with us to the next village. And I reflect back on that story, my experience in the jungle. How different is it with the story of Martha and Mary? Here you go, we have Jesus come to visit a family that he know, Martha and Mary. They know Jesus. Jesus know them quite well. And we have Martha busy with preparing food. What with some of us we call busy bee. Just running around, do different things. And correct me if I'm wrong, Grandma, any mother down there would agree with this, that someone, that special guest come to visit, you will be busy, right? Preparing food, different things. Here you go, we have Martha, that person who is constantly anxious about what next need to be done to serve Jesus. And here you go, we have Mary. First, she was helping Martha, preparing for the coming, welcoming Jesus, and yet she decided to take a step back and sitting at the feet of Jesus to listen to him. The gospel did not mention what do they talk about. But there is something probably in Jesus that draw her to close to Jesus. It's something that in Jesus that make her be present with Jesus. And for many of us, we know that when if we look from the surface, we're looking and say Martha and Mary. Don't you think that kind of unfair for Martha? She's the one do all the work, and yet Mary's the one just sitting there, not doing much. And yet Jesus saying that, Martha, Martha, you are anxious about many things, and Mary choosing the better part. I think both are good. Jesus just reminding Martha that it's great that you are serving. It's great. Nothing wrong with that. But you get caught up in that anxious. So when we look at in our daily life, would you agree that we do get caught up in those anxious moments? For example, how difficult is it try to go to DMV and think ahead of time, beat the traffic, get in line, get there, get the number, and wait for them to call us up to get our driver license or driving test. The anxiety, the anxious, and for many of us, it can lead to depression. Lead to depression to the point say, oh, I can't do this. And yet, Jesus here telling us that, hey, take a step back. Be in present to the family, to whoever surround us. Life is has its own cycle. But at the same time, when we have family, we have friends, we have someone coming over for a visit, it's more important to be in present with that person, letting that person know. I'm going to take a little further, another steps. When we talk about present, we're also talking about our brothers, the strangers. Sometimes welcoming a stranger is not only about giving them something, but rather ask question. How is your day going? Are you in pain? How was it? And many of us, we probably have that similar story. Well, we meet a stranger and we probably gone for a couple minutes and think back, God, I could have asked or give more to that person. So in present to the Lord, to God, but also require us to be in present to our family, to our neighbors, to strangers. Because God in all things, God in everyone. And when we do that, we sow our faith, we sow our identity as Christian, we sow the people that we are the disciple of Christ, just by a simple action. As you know, at the end of the day, we all have Martha and Mary in us. But how do we keep it balanced? Keep it balanced. They're all saints. Martha and Mary, they're both saints. But how do we look at it? We keep Martha and Mary in balance in our life as a way that to keep us in balance as well, so that we don't get caught in one thing and overdo the other things. But at the end of the day, our action is represent the love that we have by being present to our brothers, to our sisters, to our family, and to our neighbor, and to our strangers.